Hi, I'm Alicia Kinchlow, the attorney and founder behind Kinchlow Law, a family law and estate planning practice based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All right, so one of the things I see often in dealing with family law is that one of the persons involved has a very controlling personality type. And I'm not a psychologist or therapist, although I do have a bachelor's in psychology, but I have done this work a long time now. And I've seen the way that some parties will try to control the situation. And sometimes that comes from having what can be considered to be a narcissistic personality type. Sometimes it's coming from a place of just being an abusive partner, emotionally abusive, emotionally controlling. Or it can be coming even from a place of fear. They are afraid themselves of what can happen, or they're afraid of losing you, or they're afraid of losing their children, or afraid of losing their financial status. And so then it becomes very difficult for them to be able to interact with the other party who's not as controlling. So these are a few tips for how to kind of deal with that type of person. And again, these are just some things that I've picked up along the way that I've found that have helped my clients. But by all means, you should always speak to a licensed professional who knows the facts specific to your situation. So whether that's your counselor or therapist and or your legal advisor to help you deal with these situations. So one tip is don't make decisions right away. Don't make them in a way that's reactionary to something that is said or something that is done by that controlling person. You want to be able to always take a step back and think about how those actions are going to affect you. Two, you want to sit down with an attorney at least at some point during the process, even if you guys are trying to work it out and not go to court. Because once you sit down with an attorney, for at least for a consultation, they'll be able to give you an idea what your rights are. And if you decide not to go through the court system to effectuate your co parenting situation because you split, or if you guys are trying to work out divorce through a mediator, it's important to understand what your rights are, because once you've done that, you're operating from a place of power and not one that's reactionary or a place of ignorance even. And it makes it a lot easier for you to make decisions that will not be harder to undo later. So sit down with an attorney for at least a consultation and get an idea of what your rights are. And then the third thing is to understand that sometimes the information that's coming to you is completely distorted. So if there is a third party who's supposed to be objective, like a co-parenting counselor or a couples therapist, a mediator, or maybe even like a preacher or pastor, you want to make sure that you involve yourself in the communications with that person. Don't let that controlling person be the only one who's giving information to that party or bringing information back to you. And if you are getting information through that controlling partner, get the information firsthand from the third party person, because I've seen a number of situations where it's completely distorted, and guess who it's in favor of? The controlling partner. So those are three tips for how to deal with a controlling personality type. Again, speak to your therapeutic professional, so your therapist, your psychologist, psychiatrist, and also speak with a legal advisor at least for a consultation, because they're able to give you information specific to the facts of your situation, your case, and it'll help you again to make decisions that are more in line with your rights as a parent or more in line with your rights as a divorcing spouse. Right. Again, my name is Alicia. I hope these tips have been helpful to you. They are not legal advice, they're for informational purposes only. And until next time, take care.